Hello everyone, welcome back to this channel. This video will be in continuation to the last video that I uploaded, that was Introduction to Economics. So the last video ended on abruptly as on the wise choices that we were discussing, that is WISE and choices. So we will be including the concept of wise choices. What are these concepts and what do they actually mean? So the first one, that is W, means well-being, or you can say economic well-being. That includes all the money related aspects as well as satisfaction related aspects of an individual in the economy. So what is the central concept in economics that we are talking about? That is economic well-being, or you can say satisfaction or money in monetary terms to a person. How much a person has money, is he well enough, is he accordingly to its well-being or not, is he poor or not, means this includes a person's or an individual's well-being basically. Next, the I concept includes interdependence. Interdependence means, suppose if I consider two firms, A and B, this firm is dependent on the other one, or this firm is dependent on B. So this is interdependence. Now, how can these firms be interdependent? Maybe in the form of raw materials, or in the case of raw materials, maybe B company might be taking raw materials from A company. Maybe in the form of distribution, that is retail sector or wholesale sector, you can say, that is B company might be a retail firm for the A company, or vice versa. You can also term it as they can be partners, or you can say stakeholders basically in each other's company. So this is called, and there might be other different reasons in which these might be dependent. That might be price wars maybe, or price collusions maybe. So these are few things that might be responsible for interdependence between two firms. Similarly, two people might be interdependent on each other for money or for living conditions, maybe anything like that. Now, the S concept here is scarcity. So scarcity means a lack of something. That is lack of resources in the economy, maybe. That is, we can say that which kind of resources are lacking. They are the non-renewable resources. So non-renewable resources are those resources that cannot be renewed, or you cannot replenish these resources again and again to use them. Once they are exhausted, they are completely exhausted and gone forever. So they cannot be renewed. So scarcity here means lack of resources with unlimited wants. That is, we will be talking about later. E here is efficiency. Efficiency means how productively or how efficiently one person is performing some kind of work. Suppose we have labor in an economy, we have people working in different kinds of sectors and companies maybe. So how productive are these labor? What is the quality of output they are generating from actually putting all the raw materials in the economy, in the production process, is called efficiency. Means, are they using so much time to actually provide output, or are they using less time to actually get sufficient and excessive amount of output? So we can say less input hours and more output. This might be called as efficiency. Now the second term here is choices, where CHO is common here, that is choices. So again, choices are alternatives that a person has in order to choose from among these. So a person might have several alternatives in front of him, and he can choose any of A, B, C, D according to the budget he has. So suppose we have a budget of rupees 100, and each and every alternative that is present here is available in these 100 rupees, then a person can even choose two of them or three of them maybe. So in general, a person has to make choices. Now, the concept of choices is directly related to the concept of opportunity cost. So a person has to consider the opportunity cost before delving into which type of choice he has to take up. Now, the next letter here is I, that is relative to intervention. So the only intervention in economics is by the government. So government makes a proper authority, or you can say it's an entity that controls, supervises each and every other entity in the economy. In general, we have three entities: firms, individuals, and the government. Now, the firms and the individuals are governed by the third authority, that is the government. That means that government is the overall authority combining these two firms and individuals, and work for social welfare, or you can say increment, or uh, sustainable development or increment in the economy. Now the next letter is C, that caters to change. So any kind of change that is coming into being, like you can say infrastructural change, or you can say sustainable change, or less usage of non-renewable resources and more usage of renewable resources, and taking out alternatives to actually convert non-renewable resources to renewable resources, or you can say replace non-renewable resources by renewable resources, and any kind of change in the economy, or in terms of firms as well, if we consider the production. So this is called change. Next is E, that is equity. Equity here means equality. You can also see equity in terms of stock market, when we can when stock market has this terminology, that is equity or stake percent in the company. In terms of economy, we will cater to equality. That is when two individuals A and B are equal. So they can be equal in terms of in terms of money, that is monetary terms, in terms of respect, and you can say status in the society. So two persons should be treated equal, irrespective of what caste, color, creed they belong to, and what money they have. So in means the role of this government in intervention, if I say, is prominent in terms of distribution of money in the economy. So when distribution of wealth and income in the economy is concerned, two people must be equal. And the last thing is sustainability, that is S. Sustainability means compromising the present needs in order to make available the raw materials in the future. So if I say that you will be using less amount of resources today to actually save them and protect those resources for the future. Now, if I consider non-renewable resources in this context of sustainability, we can see that non-renewable resources are towards exhausting condition of the economy. So if these non-renewable resources are completely exhausted till the future generation arrives, they will not be able to cater to the use of non-renewable resources. So sustainability here comes in and tells that the non-renewable resources should be used with proper amount, and with proper allocation, and should not be exhausted completely. Instead, they should be made rigorous efforts to replace non-renewable resources with renewable resources. So now we have these nine central concepts that are related to economics, and in each chapter, or maybe each wherever you find economics, you will be getting all these nine central concepts, and the definitions, or maybe the meaning of these nine concepts is very important for economics. Next we have is the basic economic problem as an introduction to economics. That is again one of the main topics. So basic economic problem of an economy is nothing but the problem of scarcity. Now, the problem of scarcity is general. We can say that there are scarce resources. Which kind of resources are scarce? That is non-renewable resources. And renewable resources can be replenished, can be used again and again. But this problem of scarcity is backed by what is also backed by unlimited needs and wants. So unlimited needs and wants are another kind of, you can say, point, or maybe a major aspect that leads to problems in the economy. So the central aspect, or the basic economic problem of the economy, is problem of scarcity that is directly backed by unlimited needs and wants. Now, as a human being, Each and every person has needs, has wants, and they are unlimited. Means you might be getting needs every day, might be getting wants every day, you might be desiring for something every day. But due to scarcity of resources, this is, or you can say scarcity of non-renewable resources, or the monetary terms, or the money that you need to actually buy these needs and wants is scarce. So in general, we consider to making choices. What do we make? Choices. Here the concept of opportunity cost creeps in, and we so if I sum up the basic economic problem, this is nothing but scarcity, that is scarcity of resources that you have, plus unlimited needs and wants that a person has, plus the choices that he has to make. So this is the basic economic problem. The basic economic problem might stop here. But for to actually compensate or make a solution out of this basic economic problem, we cater to choices. And here we also include the concept of opportunity cost that we will be studying later. All right. Next here is what is production. So in economics, we have three things or three terminologies used, that is production, distribution, and consumption. So we'll talk about production first. So production is in general, if you see the literal meaning of the term production, it is nothing but the process of making something, or you can say growing something. So the process of making or growing goods or goods to be sold. So growing, by growing, we also take into consideration the agriculture sector here, where we grow goods and services, or sorry, not services, we grow goods or wheat, rice, corn, barley, etc. Process of making will include any man-made item, or you can say anything that is made inside an industry or a company or manufacturing unit, etc. And this is the two things, that is process of making and growing goods and services to be sold, is considered under production. Now for making goods and services or for growing goods and services, we need four things or four factors that will drive production. What are these four factors? First is land, labor, capital, and enterprise. Now when we consider land, labor, capital, and enterprise, these are the factors or determining or driving forces of production. That is, without land, without labor, without capital, and without enterprise, none can produce any kind of good and services. So these factors are major drivers of production. We'll see them one by one. So land here is might include the physical land that is present in the economy, that is on which you are standing. But it will also include the renewable resources like fish stocks, water, forests, plants, etc. And the non-renewable resources like oil, fossil fuels, gold, and metal. So these are considered under land. Next we have is labor. Labor is again human, or the human beings present in the economy that want work, who are working as some kind of for to deliver some kind of service. So we have services of an accountant, chef, doctor, manufacturer, any kind of services related to the economy. And the third one is capital. That is, we can, in simple terms, this is money. Or you can say when money is used to buy what? Machinery, equipments, and you can also say tools, techniques, anything that is used inside the business firm to actually produce goods and services. It may also include infrastructure, transportation, communication network, etc. So all these things are backed by money. Capital in general is also related to the money that is used in the production process. Enterprise is the last one. We can also consider it as entrepreneurs. So enterprise includes skills, creativity, risk-taking ability of a business person. These are the functions of the entrepreneurs that we are talking about. So an entrepreneur is basically a person who delves into ideas of creativity, who has skills, who has wit, who has intelligence, who know how to actually form business, and what will be the how will he be able to gain profits and profits from the business. So he will be the one who will be managing overall production process and the profits. Now, all these factors of production have their rewards. So what are the rewards actually? Before that, there are several examples of land, labor, capital, and enterprise. Like land has iron ore, rubber, oil, sand, cows. These all are present in, these are renewable, non-renewable resources. Labor, car designer, production director, production line staff, supply chain staff. Capital, you can use conveyor belt, robotic arms, rolled steel, computers and seats. And enterprise is always the CEO, or maybe the person who is using wit and intelligence in the business form. Now, for completing this land, labor, capital, and enterprise as the four factors of production, we have rewards for these factors. So what are these? We will be talking about in the next slide.